Already.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to Mansfield Town News and Views. In today's interview, I'm joined with Tranmere Rovers fan Ethan. Good evening, Ethan. How you doing, mate?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. So obviously, I've got a lot to discuss tonight. I just want to start by talking about Tranmere first. You've gone off to a quite good start this season, in a good position in the league at the minute. You must be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I'm buzzing, but I think there's still quite a bit of way to go. I mean, we started off quite slowly, but that's always going to happen when you have 20 new players in and 20 players leaving after getting beaten in the playoff semi-finals against Morecambe, who went on to go up, and they're doing quite well themselves in League One. But yeah, it was always going to be quite a slow start with the player turnover that we had, and then we're getting into our own at the moment. So we're doing quite well, but then on Saturday we went back down to earth, really, with a 2-0 defeat against Northampton Town, which I felt that we probably deserved to lose a bit by more, probably 3 or 4-0, I thought.
Yeah, so you mentioned there about obviously there's still work for you to do for you to improve in that. But just go in to start off with in the summer. Then, how would you rate Tranmere's recruitment? Was you impressed with it, or do you think there were still areas that you could have improved on? What was your take on it?
I feel like there is some areas that we need to improve on, but at the end of the day, we had to get like a whole new team in. So I feel with the players that we brought in, we did quite well. But there was still some areas that we could improve on. For example, a striker, because we're relying on Elliot Nevers at the moment, and I don't think that he was brought in to be relied on. He's a 24-year-old from Warrington, and you need someone, if you're a club that wants to go up, you need a striker that will score and you can rely on him, and Nevers not really that. But we did bring in some players that are really good, and I've brought in some. They've brought in their qualities, like Ross doing a goal, Tom Davis centre back, Chris Menny has been really good so far. Tom Davis, I think I just said him before, not too sure. And then further up the pitch, Sam Foley, Ryan Watson, Duffy, McManaman. So there is quite a good mix of talents that we've brought in.
Yeah, I mean, you've got another player that I don't know if you mentioned there. Another player that you've got is obviously the midfield players as well. That you've got plenty of experience in there as well. So you've got a really good mixture as well in there. And I do think that you'll be a side that will be in and around the playoffs. I mean, like I say, you come close last season. And so is it a case of just going that extra step further for you guys then this season?
Yeah, I think it's a case of going that step further, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how we do, because I think that we've got some business to do in January, and then whether we can go and push on from that, I don't know, but it's really good so far to see where we're at, because we've got a solid base, I think, for the future, and with Mickey Mellon back at the helm, it's looking a lot more positive than it was last season.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about Mickey Mellon there. So obviously he was with you guys before, did a really good job getting you as far as what he did. Came back to the club. So are you guys happy that you've got him back at the club? What have you made to him since he's come back in his second spell at Tranmere?
Yeah, I mean, I personally love the man, and I wouldn't ever say anything really bad against him, really. But I think that he's done well so far. He's the only Tranmere manager that I've experienced success with. And whenever I meet him, and whenever other fans meet him, he's always really he's always nice when he talks to you, and it makes you. And I feel like with a club at this level, that's what you need. You need that sort of you need that sort of connect to what you see on the pitch and what you see off the pitch. And I feel like what Mickey's done a good job so far, and it'll be interesting to see how we do with him this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, like you said before, you had success with him as well. He knows the club, and that's what you kind of want at any club, really. A manager that knows what it means, tasted success, and, obviously he's got experience higher up in the league as well. So for this level, I mean, you couldn't have really asked for a manager that's, with that much experience, really.
No, you couldn't ask for much better.
So obviously going into this weekend's game, as you've seen, we're quite the opposite really, where we've not won since August. And a lot of people have said to me, it must be strange really, because obviously we're, like yourself, very ambitious. We want to be there or thereabouts at least. So you're kind of playing us at a good time, to be quite honest with you, because honestly, we're just all over the place. So from a Tranmere perspective, are you looking forward to this weekend's game, or what's your thoughts on it?
I'll be honest, I was very surprised. I was doing a bit of work on Mansfield today with what that you've helped me out with, and I was having a look at the league table, and I saw that you were in the relegation zone, and I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest. I thought that you'd be. I've not really seen your name up there this season, obviously, but I thought that you'd be around mid-table sort of thing. But I'm very surprised to see that you're in the relegation zone. But yeah, I am looking forward to this weekend in some respects, because I feel like we've got a lot of work to do. If last Saturday's show was anything to go against, but if the previous few weeks, if we can get back to that form, I feel like we can get the win against Mansfield. But I think it'll be an interesting game, really, because if we don't get that bit of form back, it looks a bit worrying, and you could possibly, I don't want to say beat us, but it could be a very close game.
Yeah, could be, definitely. And this is the thing with League Two. You never know. Like you say, you guys obviously, you got that, brought that man to earth for that defeat last week, but that's how football can change, and it's crazy. Yeah. A couple of wins and that's it, you're up there. You know what I mean? But from our point of view, we've just constantly, because we've had a lot of injuries and suspensions, and like I said last night, it's just the problem from our point of view. I think the recruitment's been a big thing. I think if you have a poor recruitment, then you're always going to struggle, and I think that's what we're kind of seeing from our point of view. To be honest, that's why we're where we are at the minute. I mean, obviously, when you don't know what you like without a fully fit squad, but it's always mixed with the fan base, whether to stick with a manager or to get somebody else in. But the problem is when you get somebody else in, it takes them longer to get to know the players. So I think you're just better off just trying to stick with it and just try and get through it.
Was you also a bit like ours then in some respects? Was there a lot of work that you needed to do?
Yeah, there was really, because the previous two managers that we had, again, bad recruitment, and having Nigel Clough come in, we knew it wasn't going to be a straightaway job where he'd come in and, because it's just, for any manager to do that, it's hard, but it was always going to be like a rebuilding progress. But the problem is, in the summer, we missed out on 3 centre-halves, and soon as James Perch went injured, that was it. Our defence has been struggling ever since. And what we've had to do, we've had to have Ollie Hawkins, a main goal scorer, to play in defence. So we're already weakened up front, having to play him there. So we're basically having to deal with fringe players, and all due respect to them, they're trying their best, but it's really hard when you've got bare to the bone squad. So again, it's just we're trying to build, but at the same time, we just haven't got, in my opinion, that enough quality to really show what we're about, to be honest.
Yeah, for us, it's like our defence is really solid, but it's just going forward and the goals, because I think that we've conceded least the less amount of goals than anyone else in the league. So it's just about whether we can start scoring. Then, like I said before, if we get that striker in who we can rely off, and he plays really well with the likes of Hawks, McManaman, Duffy, Feeney, whoever it may be on the wings, I feel like we could be up there come the end of the season, really.
Who would you say the main threats are for Tranmere this season? Who would you say the players that's really impressed you so far?
Going forwards.
Just going forward, just anywhere around the pitch, really.
Yeah. I'd say Hawks has been really good so far. He's came in off a loan spell. No, he's come in on loan for the season, and he's been really good so far. But he's got a hamstring problem at the moment, which you're probably happy about, because I don't think that you'd want to come up against him at the moment. And then Kieran Morris has been really good. He started off as a wing back, and then he's moved back into a more favourable position, which is attacking midfield. So yeah, it's been quite worrying over that though, because I don't think that McManaman's had the best of starts to the season, but you look at who McManaman is, and you probably expect in League Two, you'd expect a bit more from him so far.
Yeah,
we show.
So is it just like a case of some players just not performing to how you'd expect them to? Is that just a case of that then, or?
Yeah, I feel like defensively everyone's performed very well, but it's just about going forwards really, because I come back to that striker as again. If you get that striker in, who knows where it may be, because at the moment we're the 24-year-old up front, and he might not be as experienced as all the other players around him. So if you do get that experienced player in who can score all the goals and knows where he wants the ball and everything like that, then maybe the wingers will improve. But it's just about a case of wait and see, really. and see what we can do in January.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, January, like I've said before on my podcast that I've done, it's really difficult for any club in January because obviously in the summer you've got players that's out of contract, and it's a lot. You've got a lot more time. So January is a tough window because everyone's after the same kind of players and same positions. So January is going to be a tough month for a lot of clubs.
It is. But what normally happens with Mickey Mouse at Tranmere is we're around the top 10, and then come January we bring in like a few really good players because we brought in James Vaughan when we were in League One. It's just like an example. We brought in James Vaughan when we were in League One, and we looked like we were destined to go down. And then he came in, he started scoring all the goals for us. He got a really good partnership with Morgan Ferrier, and then it looked like it was going to be. It looked like we were going to stay up, but obviously points per game, whatever that was, that's a scandalous thing. And then Peter Clark came in the same winter, so we normally do very well in winter with Mickey Mouse, but it's just about, like I say, wait and see what we can do over the course of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about you guys. Obviously, like I say, Mickey Mellon's got a good eye for players and that. And it's always good to, obviously, with having a manager like that can spot talent. But then again, it all comes down to the experience, like you said earlier on, and the amount of contacts he'll have throughout the game. So, so for the case of you guys, then it's just improving up front, essentially, just getting more goals. And is that the main thing for you guys going forward then?
Yeah, I'd say a bit of squad depth and defence as well. We've only got three centre backs, three very good centre backs, but it's only three. So we could do maybe one more, and then a pivotal striker, like a crucial striker who we can rely off. So I'd say in January maybe 2 or 3 signings.
Yeah. See, to be honest, from our point of view, I'd say like at least a few. To be honest, with the way we've been playing, to be honest, but
quite a bit.
I mean, realistically, it's just like, I'd say from our point of view, definitely defence, as well as forwards if possible. But it's such a tough window, like we keep saying, because, January is a tough window. Because realistically, I mean, not to say you can't buy players, but clubs will want more money from what you'd normally pay. So it's tough to really find anybody, if I'm honest, because we've not long signed John O'Toole from Burton. But again, he's been out for so long, it's just about getting the players' fitness, and it takes so long for players to get back into it. That's the only issue with free agent players.
So how do you think that your manager's going to address the game then? Because I feel like we're very set in our ways, really. We're very not an easy team to come up against. But how do you think that you're going to be? Like how do you think that the game's going to pan out yourself?
You see, Nigel has got this way of playing the diamond. Now, me personally, like I was saying last night, I don't think some of the players can really play that system. Yeah, it's like some managers have got set ways, and he's kind of similar to that, Nigel. Like, I don't see any plan B, and that's what really worries me, because you'd expect with somebody of that experience to have that, but he has us playing in a certain way. Now, don't get me wrong, the players will work hard and they'll cause a few problems, but the issue we've had a lot of this season, we've just not been as clinical. We've had a lot of players injured and suspended, but I think we'll give it a good go. But again, what lets us down is just that quality, to be fair. So, to be honest with you, not many fans are looking forward to this weekend, because you're banging forward. We've had a great start to the season, and then everybody just loves to play us at the minute. So you're playing us at the best time, to be honest. So really,
I feel like Saturday could be a midfield battle. With you saying it's a diamond formation, and us going with the 3. It'll be very interesting to see how that. There's a few good battles over the park, isn't there? Across the park this Saturday.
Yeah, like I say, we'll work hard. I will say that about the players. They do work hard. Like, obviously Nigel Clough's side usually does, but the problem is it's just, we'll make the most stupid mistakes, and you just think to yourself, like, you just basic football, just don't try anything stupid, from a defence point of view, just kick it out and just take your chances when you get them. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but the players that you'd expect to do more, if that makes sense. But like, I'm sure you can attest to some of that. Like, some of the players that you've got, is they're good players. It's just that they're not showing it at the minute. Yeah.
I think that is a bit of a case of what we've got. Like I said, McManaman and that, but it's about getting that team sorted, I think, as well.
Yeah,
and that's it's always going to be a problem, because Mickey Mellon at an event the other week said going into a team is like looking in a fridge and seeing what seeing what ingredients you have and seeing what ingredients you don't have. And he said that his fridge was pretty bare when he came in, so it's about getting the right ingredients to make a meal, which is what he was saying.
Yeah, it's a good point though, because like obviously you can only make do with what you've got until the transfer window's open, and you'd like to think in the summer, you've made all the signings and you hope whoever comes in can do a job. You know what I mean? And we've signed big name players in the past, and they've just never really done it. So this summer it was slightly different because we were getting players that you wouldn't necessarily have heard of, not big names. Which I don't think you necessarily need in this league, to be honest, because you've seen it before with teams. They've signed players that you might not have known, but they just work as a team, and that's what I think you need in this league. But from our point of view, we have been unlucky with injuries and stuff and suspensions, but even then, you still expect a couple more wins on the board. And so, like I say, we're still building ourselves, to be fair, but it can go either way. You can either start off really well, or you can just struggle, and we've just done that latter, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, what's your expectations for Tranmere then this season? Where do you think you'll finish come end of the season?
At the moment, if we keep the same squad that we have at the moment, I'll go for top 10. And I feel like a top 10 is always a really good place to finish, really, because 7th is playoffs. So whenever I start in the League 2 season, I always go in, if we look at the top 10, and then because you have half a chance of going up if you finish around there with 4 of the top 10 going up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. See, from our point of view, I think mid-table would be a great finish, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is the thing in football, because you look at how Bolton started last season, they had a terrible start and they just completely turned it around, and I'm hoping we can do that. But, it's one of them. It's hard to see it, when you're not winning games, you just think, where's the next win coming from? And that's kind of the case from our point of view. So, I think the advantage is on you guys, if I'm being totally honest.
It'll be very interesting to see how Saturday goes, because a win for you could push you up the table, and then a win or defeat for us could leave us in very different. At this stage in League 2, it's always one result can change a lot of things.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's so many games left to play. You don't want to read too much into it at this time of year, because it's only usually around Christmas time where you start to be like, well, roughly we're going to be there or thereabouts. But even then, you still kind of want to keep that momentum up. But that's the hardest thing in this league, because if you've got that, you're sound.
Yeah.
So, final question for tonight: what would your prediction be going into this weekend's game?
I think it'll be tough, because you keep saying that everyone comes up against Mansfield and looks forward to playing you, but I don't think is really a case for any team, really. I mean, it may be. I've not watched that much of Mansfield, but I think it'll be quite a close game. If we can, our offense is quite solid, so I don't expect us to concede that much, and hopefully we've had a good week of training and whatever, and we can turn back and we can get some form back and just sort of wipe out Saturday's performance. So I'm going to go with the Tranmere win, but it's about how much we can score, because I think it'll be very close, and our attack doesn't really get that many goals. So I'll say I'll go for 1-0. Go for 1. It could change come Saturday. It could change. I could be going for 4, but I'll go for the 1-0 now.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call, because every week you're trying to analyse it, but like form just completely goes out the window in this week. Yeah. It's like it's just, you can't predict anything.
It completely changes. Every single game you go into, something who's happened or whatever. So yeah, it's all pretty interesting going into games.
Yes, but that's what makes League 2 such a good league, to be honest with you. Because everyone's got a chance, haven't they? Everyone's got an equal chance to try and do something in this league.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see how Mansfield do over the course of the season, I think, because I don't think that they'll go down, really. And I know that they're currently in the relegation zone and all that sort of stuff. But looking at Bolton last season, if you can do some sort of thing like that, you could maybe finish mid-table or just look up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this League 2 campaign will go for both our teams.
Yeah, like just like you mentioned earlier on, I think, come January is going to be such a big window for a lot of teams. Obviously, for yourselves, it's just about bringing them extra cover players just in case of injuries and what have you. And then from our point of view, just getting players that can just bolster to what we've got now. So it's going to be an interesting one in the second half of the season, I think, for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I look forward to Saturday's game.
Yeah, same here, mate. Are you bringing a lot this weekend? Tranmere bringing a lot.
I expect us to bring around 500. I think we always bring about that many to about 2.5 hours away games. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much we bring. But it should be a good game. I expect us to bring and make some noise. That's what we always do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. You want a great atmosphere from both sets of fans. But yeah, thanks again, Ethan. Really do appreciate you coming on, mate. To have your say on everything Tranmere like. It's always good to get different perspectives, like from the other side of the fence, really, because obviously going into any games, you just kind of want to know, who you've coming up against, and obviously the other point of view, like. But yeah, like I say, I just wish you guys for the very best of luck for the season.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Cheers.